Hello and
Actually,
welcome, friends, in a special edition of weekly virtual talk with district magistrates and municipal administrators across India. A special talk on catch the rain for rainwater harvesting. The special talk has been organized and conceptualized by the National Water Mission Minister of Jal Shakti Government of India with support of Namami Gange and organized by APEC Digital News Network. And we are thankful to the Honorable Secretary Minister of Jal Shakti, UP Singh sir, for giving us the opportunity to organize this weekly talk with district magistrates and municipal commissioners only on creating awareness on rainwater harvesting, keeping in mind the landmark Catch the Rain campaign. And today we have the honor of having special guests with us, district magistrates from various parts of India, as well as urban environmentalists are there today with us. At the beginning, let me introduce Shri UP Singh, Secretary Minister of Jal Shakti Government of India. We welcome you, sir. We have with us Shri G. Ashok Kumar, Additional Secretary and Mission Director, National Water Mission, Minister of Jal Shakti Government of India. We welcome Shri G. Ashok Kumar, sir.
thank you.
We have district ministers from the state of Chhattisgarh, from Uttarakhand, and from the state of Odisha, along with a special guest from Puducherry. Let me introduce Shri Vananthal, District Minister and Collector, Bemetra, Government of Chhattisgarh. Let me introduce Shri Mayur Dixit, District Magistrate, Uttarkashi. We welcome Mr. Mayur Dixit with us. We welcome Shri A. Vikrant Raja, Secretary to the Honorable Chief Minister, Government of Puducherry. Welcome, Mr. Raja. We have also with us Dr. Indukan Ragade, a veteran urban environmentalist who has written a lot of books on water and has been championing the cause of civil society in terms of creating awareness on rainwater harvesting and water management. We welcome Dr. Ragade.
Good
Yeah.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So with this, I request UP Singh, Honorable Secretary, Minister of Jal Shakti Government of India, to deliver his keynote address on this special virtual talk on Catch the Rain for rainwater harvesting with district magistrates and municipal administrators across India. Over to you, Sri UP Singh.
Thank you. Very good afternoon to all of you. And at the outset, I should thank a few people. I must thank APSC, I must thank NWM and Namami Gange. And special thanks to all the district magistrate and Mr. Ranade who are today's panelists actually. We had the first of this series on 8th of this month. We have decided to make it as a weekly event. On 15th, we couldn't do it because we thought that maybe district magistrates would be busy with Independence Day celebrations. But we would continue this to be a weekly event. Last time we had a couple of district magistrates and some other people. And this time also we have district magistrates as well as Vikrant, who has been till recently, he was also a district magistrate actually, if I remember correctly, in Karaikal. In my first, when we started this series, in the first talk, I stated that how our country basically, the three most important functionaries are PM, CM, and DM. PM at national level, CM at state level, and DM at district level. In fact, when Honorable Prime Minister in his Man Ki Baat talked about first Man Ki Baat in Modi 2.0, when he talked about water and especially about water conservation, and that created a buzz all around the country, and everybody knows that we had a Jal Shakti Abhiyan last year, and this year also we wanted to start Jal Shakti Abhiyan, but because of COVID, we couldn't really go ahead in the manner which we had planned. Nevertheless, we have today a Catch the Rain campaign going on. Similarly, at the state level, everybody knows that a number of states have taken up some special programs. Last time I made a mention of few of them. For example, Rajasthan had Mukhyamantri Jal Swavlamban Abhiyan, or Gujarat today have a Sujlam Suflam Abhiyan. Telangana has a Mission Kakatiya program. Even some new initiative last year, Bihar started what is called a Jal Jeevan Haryali Mission. So most of the states where the chief minister himself took the initiative, some very remarkable work has been done. But I still feel that water problem of water is more of a decentralized problem actually, and we should look into its decentralized solution. And nobody better than district magistrate and the municipal commissioners are perhaps in the best position to basically ensure a water security at a local level. And that's why, which I last time I told you, in fact I thought of interacting with the district magistrate or most of the especially water stress district. In fact, I had started a divisional level meetings. I had the first divisional level meeting at Saharanpur where we had 3 district magistrates. We also had 6 district magistrates participated in the Meerut divisional level conference, and then we also have 4 district magistrates participating in for the Chitrakoot division at Banda. And this I had done, I think, till the beginning of March or so, and thereafter this COVID came and we could not carry it forward. But then the COVID has given us an opportunity now in form of this virtual platform. एंड जैसा कि पहले भी मैं बता चुका हूँ, वर्चुअल प्लेटफॉर्म के कई फ़ायदे भी हैं. एक फ़ायदा ये है कि हम ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों के पास पहुँच जा पा रहे हैं. जैसे कल हमारा वाटर टॉक हुआ था. वाटर टॉक जैसा कि मैं पहले बता चुका हूँ कि हर महीने हमारा वाटर टॉक जो है वो 3rd फ्राइडे को हमारा वाटर टॉक होता है फ्रॉम 3 PM to 5 PM. Yesterday also there was a water talk, and if I remember correctly, कुछ करीब 70,000 के आसपास के लोग जुड़ पाए थे, क्योंकि इस बार हमने स्कूल्स को और स्कूल के स्टूडेंट्स और टीचर्स को जोड़ने की कोशिश की थी. तो एक तो रजिस्ट्रेशन करके काफ़ी लोग जुड़े थे, लेकिन साथ में जो लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग हो रही है, आज भी जो हम ये प्रोग्राम कर रहे हैं, इसके APSC का अपना हैंडल होगा, बट हमारे मिनिस्ट्री का फेसबुक है, नेशनल वाटर मिशन का है, नमामि गंगे का है, इन सारी जगहों से आज के प्रोग्राम को भी लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग की जा रही है. तो लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग के जरिए ये काफ़ी लोगों तक पहुंच रहा है. और चूंकि ये सारा कुछ अवेलेबल रहता है, लेट्स से ऑन फेसबुक एंड अदर सोशल मीडिया, देन वन कैन वॉच. जिन्होंने रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं किया वो तो आज भी लाइव स्ट्रीम पे देख सकते हैं, बट वो कोई आज अगर लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग में नहीं देख पा रहे हैं तो दिस वुड बी अवेलेबल फॉर द फ्यूचर ऑल्सो. तो ये हमें लगा कि ये बहुत अच्छा मौका है. नाउ जो मैंने बताया कि डिस्ट्रिक्ट मजिस्ट्रेट्स अगर वो काम करने, पानी के ऊपर काम करने की कोशिश करें तो काफ़ी हद तक जो है वो उस ज़िले का प्रॉब्लम वो दूर कर सकते हैं. यहाँ पे 1-2 लोग हैं जिनके बारे में पहले भी बात कर चुका हूँ. विक्रांत तो हैज़ बीन वन ऑफ आवर स्पीकर्स एंड ही प्रेजेंटेड विक्रांत राजा अर्लियर एल्सो. एंड वी हैव मयूर हु वाज CDO इन उधम सिंह नगर. और मैं जब भी बात किया हूँ करीब करीब पानी के बारे में, डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल इनिशिएटिव की बात की है, तो यूजुअली आई हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट लेट्स से बांदा एक्सपीरियंस, और आई हैव टॉक्ड about what Mayur and Neeraj that time had done in the district. And मैं कई बार एक्सप्लेन लोगों को कर चुका हूँ कि कैसे वहाँ उन्होंने पूरी जो ट्रेडिशनल वाटर बॉडीज है उसका उन्होंने how did they surveyed it and then did the ground truthing and find out कि what is the condition of those उधम सिंह नगर के जो वाटर बॉडीज हैं उनकी अवस्था अभी क्या है. फिर उन्होंने देखा कि इंक्रोचमेंट को दूर करने का, इंक्रोचमेंट को भी उन्होंने क्लासिफाई कैसे किया था, परमानेंट इंक्रोचमेंट एंड टेम्पररी इंक्रोचमेंट, हाउ डिड दे रिमूव इट. And another feature was that apart from MGNREGA, they had, I think Mayur would be talking about that, because I don't think he would be talking about Uttarkashi because he has just gone there. But if he is talking about Udham Singh Nagar, then he will tell how even a smaller, we are talk of corporate social responsibility when we talk of big corporates actually, but how the district team basically engaged smaller level corporates initiative also in the concept of my social responsibility instead of corporate social responsibility. So my purpose is basically that what we are planning is that every week we bring 4 district magistrates and maybe one maybe from a non-government organizations or an environmentalist or something, and this we plan to carry on for a longer period, because it is not that water conservation works are to be done only during monsoon season. In fact, monsoon season, frankly speaking, is not the best time to do most of the water conservation works actually. In fact, this should be done more after the monsoon and maybe till next monsoon, so that in the next monsoon we can find out what has been the result of all the hard work which has been put up actually. And कई बार बातें होती हैं तो लोग यही कहते हैं कि पानी के बारे में जब भी बात होती है तो पीपल स्टार्टेड सेइंग, जैसे नीति आयोग के रिपोर्ट को कोट करके कहते हैं कि कैसे 21 सिटीज आर गोइंग टू रन आउट ऑफ वाटर, कैसे हमारा सप्लाई डिमांड जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा गैप होगा। लेकिन बहुत कम लोग बातें करते हैं कि पानी के बारे में बहुत सारी जो अच्छी चीज़ें हो रही हैं, बीट बाई द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, बीट बाई द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, बीट बाई द district administration, be it by the non-government organization, be it by the individuals. There have been so many water warriors actually. In fact, हम जो मैगजीन निकालते हैं अपने मिनिस्ट्री से, अपने डिपार्टमेंट से, वो हर इशू में हम 10 वाटर वॉरियर्स को हर महीने हम सम्मानित भी करते हैं, बिकॉज देयर आर लॉट ऑफ पीपल हु आर डूइंग ग्रेट वर्क एज फार एज वाटर कंजर्वेशन इज कंसर्न एक्चुअली। तो मैं उन सब की बातें नहीं करूँगा, और क्योंकि मैं चाहता हूँ कि आज के दिन मैं अपनी बातें बहुत बता चुका हूँ, पहले भी बता चुका हूँ कैसे हमारे वाटर अवेलेबिलिटी कैसे पर कैपिटा घट रही है, क्यों घट रही है, क्या हमारे यहाँ स्पेशल टेम्पोरल वेरिएशन होता है रेनफॉल का, कैसे क्लाइमेट चेंज इसको इम्पैक्ट कर रहा है, लेकिन जहाँ जहाँ हमने काम किया है उसका क्या रिजल्ट भी आया है। तो ये सारी चीज़ें मैं पहले भी बता चुका हूँ, बट टुडे आई वुड नॉट लाइक टू टेक मोर टाइम। आई वुड लाइक बेसिकली to hear especially the district magistrates what kind of good work which they have done in the district. मेरा पर्पस इसमें टू फोल्ड है। एक तो है कि आई वुड लाइक दैट गुड वर्क डन इन अ पर्टिकुलर प्लेस शुड गेट रिकॉग्नाइज्ड एक्चुअली, तो एक तो वो है। दूसरा ये है कि ऑल अदर पीपल also विल गेट मोटिवेटेड, दोज मे बी द अदर डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स और इवन द, जैसे कल जल रक्षक की बात हो रही थी, कल की जो हमारी स्पीकर थी जो फोर्स एनजीओ की जो प्रेसिडेंट है, उन्होंने कल बेसिकली यही उपदेश दिया कि कैसे हम सब एक जल रक्षक हो सकते हैं। एक स्कूल में एक स्टूडेंट है वो भी एक जल रक्षक हो सकता है, एनीबडी कैन बी ए जल रक्षक। तो हम कम से कम वैसे लोगों को मोटिवेट करें, जैसे पहले भी मैंने बताई थी, उनको भी मैं आगे बुलाऊंगा। जैसे अभी डिस्ट्रिक्ट मजिस्ट्रेट बड़ोदरा ने, जिसका प्रधानमंत्री जी ने भी अपने मन की बात में जिक्र किया था, that she has basically about 1,000 schools which she had in her districts, and on all 1,000 schools today have a rooftop rainwater harvesting. अब ऐसा नहीं है कि उसके लिए किसी स्कीम में नहीं किया गया, अब तो वो भी परमिटेड है। फ्रॉम दिस ईयर्स द गाइडलाइंस ऑफ MGNREG also permits basically रूफटॉप रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग, बट उन्होंने बेसिकली कॉरपोरेट से और बाकी चीज़ों से करके 1000 एक स्कूल पे और रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग हो गई। एक तो उसका कैलकुलेट किया जाएगा कि हाँ भाई कितना उसके चलते पानी बचा है, वो तो एक चीज़ है, बट उस स्कूल में जो 1000 स्कूल्स में जो पढ़ने वाले बच्चे हैं उनके लिए भी एक लेसन रहेगा। दे विल ऑल्सो नो दैट what is the rainwater harvesting, why should, first of all they will know about the rainfall, they will know about some other things, why ये पानी जो हम जमीन में क्यों डालते हैं, एक्यूफर क्या है। अब किसी बच्चे से आज के दिन में पूछा जाए कि भाई व्हाट इज द सोर्स ऑफ वाटर, तो ही सेज वो टैप से पानी देखा है तो लगता है कि टैप से पानी निकलता है, ही डजंट नो व्हाट इज एन एक्यूफर एक्चुअली। बट वी शुड, द चिल्ड्रन शुड नो कि भाई ज़मीन के अंदर भी कोई अथाह समुद्र नहीं है। अगर हम पानी उसमें से निकालते रहें और पानी न डालें उसके अंदर तो कुछ दिन के बाद वो ख़त्म हो जाएगा। तो ऐसे ही जैसे एक ग्लास से हम पानी पी रहे हैं लेकिन ग्लास में पानी भर नहीं रहे हैं, तो ग्लास की तरह या बाउल की तरह जो है वो एक्यूफर है, उसमें सर्टेन अमाउंट ऑफ वाटर है। And everybody today knows that there are large number of areas in the country which has the danger of running out of water in less than to 15 years actually. तो इसीलिए पानी को एक तो है कि कैसे, मतलब जो सप्लाई साइड मैनेजमेंट की बात तो करेंगे, साथ में हम चाहेंगे कि जो आज डिस्ट्रिक्ट मजिस्ट्रेट्स यहाँ पे हैं वो अगर ये कुछ बता पाएँ कि डिमांड साइड मैनेजमेंट पानी को बचाने के लिए, एक तो है कि चलो पानी को हमने कंजर्व किया, हमने रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग बनाई, हमने रूफटॉप रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग बनाई, एंड देयर इज ट्रिमेंडस स्कोप एक्चुअली। मुझे ऐसा नहीं लगता है कि स्कोप की कोई कमी है। अभी हाल में हमने बहुत सारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को टैप किया, हमने सेंट्रल पैरामिलिट्री फोर्सेज हैं उनको टैप किया, हमने कैंटोनमेंट बोर्ड को टैप कर रहे हैं, हमने एयरपोर्ट अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया को टैप किया, हमने जो स्पोर्ट्स अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया को टैप किया। इतने बड़े बड़े एयरपोर्ट्स हैं, इतने बड़े बड़े स्टेडियम हैं, इतने बड़े बड़े यूनिवर्सिटीज़ हैं, एवरीवेयर देयर आर सो मेनी यूनिवर्सिटीज़ एक्चुअली। सो एंड देयर इज सो मच स्कोप, क्योंकि उनका बिल्टअप एरिया भी बहुत ज़्यादा है और उनके यहाँ खुला एरिया भी ज़्यादा है। वी ऑल, आई हैव स्टडीड इन IIT एंड आई रिमेंबर कि इट इज अ स्प्रॉलिंग कॉम्प्लेक्स एक्चुअली। तो वहाँ पे इतनी पानी बचाने की गुंजाइश है। तो हर जगह जो आप डिस्ट्रिक्ट में भी आप तो नॉर्मल MGNREG और बाकी स्कीम में ये काम कर ही रहे हैं, लेकिन अगर जैसे हम इंश्योर करें कि जैसे एक स्कीम एक जिले में था कि मेरा छत मेरा पानी और समथिंग करके, तो इस ढंग से जो आपके यहाँ जितने भी इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं, जितने भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, NYKs है, नेशनल NSS है, इन सबको कैसे हम इन्वॉल्व करें जो कि वाटर कंजर्वेशन, जैसे आपने स्वच्छ भारत मिशन के लिए जिस ढंग से IEC कैंपेन किया, मैं चाहूँगा कि उसी तरह से वाटर कंजर्वेशन के ऊपर बोथ डिमांड साइड सप्लाई साइड मैनेजमेंट के ऊपर एक कैंपेन आप ऑलरेडी चला रहे होंगे, उसके बारे में भी आप बताएंगे। तो मैं ज़्यादा अभी समय नहीं लेना चाहूँगा, मे बी अगर समय मिला तो लास्ट में कुछ और बातें कहूँगा, बट अब मैं चाहता हूँ कि स्वाभाविक आपके पास मैं वापस you should take over, and I would request to hear the district magistrates, and considering the time available, naturally they may have lots to say, but they will have to say in brief actually, जिसको कहते हैं कि गागर में सागर भरना, तो हमारे district magistrates they know this art very well. So back to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, UPC, Honorable Secretary Minister of Jal Shakti Government of India, for setting up the context and giving a perspective. I remember last week also when we did the first edition of this virtual talk with selected district magistrates, and before that, and also in the first edition of Global Water Management Conclave, which was organized by APEC and was supported by Ministry of Jal Shakti, National Water Mission, and Namami Gange. I remember in the inaugural speech, you raised a very important and pertinent question. You said it's not only about uh, water crisis; it's about managing the source, sustainable source. That is very important, and also demand side management. And again, today you have raised those important points, and I think that will also guide the district magistrates who are part of this virtual talk today. And with this, I'd like to hand over to this session to G. Ashok Kumar, Additional Secretary, Mission Director, uh, National Water Mission, to play the role of moderator in a chat with the district magistrates. Over to you, G. Ashok Kumar, sir.
अशोक, बिफोर यू कम, एक पॉइंट इन्होंने जो बताया, बिकॉज ऑल द डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स नाउ नो अबाउट जल जीवन मिशन. इट्स अ वेरी ह्यूज स्कीम, जल जीवन मिशन, वेयर एवरी हाउसहोल्ड इज सपोज्ड टू बी प्रोवाइडेड विथ अ फंक्शनल टैप वाटर कनेक्शन अप टू 2024. As I am sitting here now, I also have the additional responsibility of drinking water and sanitation, as Mr. Parameshwaran Iyer has demitted office yesterday actually. So today I am also holding that as additional charge. बट जल जीवन मिशन में आप लोग तो काम कर रहे होंगे, एवरीबडी लुक्स इट एज अ डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन नेटवर्क, जैसे कहाँ से पाइप क्या डलेगा, मे बी स्टोरेज टैंक, टैप्स एटसेट्रा. बट आई वुड से दैट द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू शुड बी द सोर्स सस्टेनेबिलिटी. अदरवाइज टुमारो वी विल हैव टैप बट वी विल हैव नो वाटर कमिंग फ्रॉम द टैप. आप जो हैं, चाहे वो मनरेगा से हो, चाहे वो इस बार पैसा सारे ग्राम पंचायत को जा रहा है फ्रॉम द फाइनेंस कमीशन एल्सो, वेदर इज दैट मनी और वॉट एवर इट मे बी, बट यू विल हैव टू बेसिकली इंश्योर द सोर्स सस्टेनेबिलिटी, एंड देन ओनली दिस स्कीम रियली वुड बी यूजफुल. बैक टू अशोक.
And before G. Ashok Kumar sir starts, I'll just take 30 seconds to congratulate UP Singh for getting the additional charge. So congratulations on behalf of APEC Digital News Network for the new role, additional role.
Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Sir, Secretary of the Ministry of Jal Shakti, because he is looking after both the departments, and all the district magistrates and the participants today. I'll take only 3-4 minutes just to introduce the topic. We have started from National Mission is a mission. Water Mission is a mission started in 2011, and water के बारे में कई काम कर रहे थे water mission. पिछले एक साल में हमने फोकस करके 2-3 चीजों में काम कर रहे हैं. एक तो डिमांड साइड मैनेजमेंट के लिए, जैसे सर ने बताया, वी वांटेड टू लुक एट द डिमांड साइड मैनेजमेंट. वी स्टार्टेड अ कैंपेन कॉल्ड सही फसल, वेयर वी वर लुकिंग एट द proper use of water in agriculture. So we try to convince nudge farmers to go for less water intensive crops. So this is one thing where you district collectors also can take a role, trying to move the people from in the water stressed areas away from paddy and go for less water consuming crops. And if at all they are going for paddy, they should go for better agriculture practices. Like Tamil Nadu mein to Siri and all are there, which are very, very successfully done for reducing the water usage in agriculture. So drip irrigation kar sakte hai, and also we have micro irrigation systems which can actually reduce the water usage in agriculture crops. That's the demand side management. And the second thing which we did was national mission started was this water talks. Jaise Secretary Sahab ne bataya, every third Friday we do the water talk, where experts in the field of water, as well as practitioners and successful implementers of water management, are called to deliver talks. So Kalbi, we had a talk by Force NGO Jyoti Sharma madam, and she also in very, very simple terms explained what are the ways to conserve water and how we can be Jal Rakshaks. Now, the third important point, third campaign which we have been doing was the Catch the Rain campaign. It is with the tagline "Catch the rain where it falls, when it falls." जैसे हम बताते हैं घर का पानी घर में, खेत का पानी खेत में. So where water falls, where there, if you conserve it there, it saves a lot of things for us. It improves the soil moisture of that area. It increases the water table. It helps us in the summer season, because you get rainfall for 3, 4, 5 months maybe, or 4 months, and that water has to sustain it for another 8 months till the next monsoon comes. So the conservation of water, increasing the soil moisture, increasing the vegetation, all these things are one major advantage of this of catch the rain thought process. And second important thing is the prevention or reduction of the urban flooding. So many of the urban areas, because of the concretization and pavement of the areas, all the water following the compound is coming to the roads and going to the low-lying areas and getting waterlogged. So these two positive outcomes is what we are expecting from the Catch the Rain campaign. But Catch the Rain campaign we are taking as a national level campaign. As the Secretary has said, we had returned it to the big land owners like the Army, Air Force, the Navy, the IITs, IIMs, the colleges, universities, airports, railways, सबको मिलाया है. But if water falls everywhere, not only in these big institutions, water can be saved at every house. So the thrust of this Catch the Rain campaign is to create rainwater harvesting structures, appropriate rainwater harvesting structures, which are suited to the soil area, soil substrata, and also to the climatic conditions, and with active people's participation. We also listed many activities, which includes many of the things which you people have done, like enumeration of the water bodies, checking up whether they are encroached or not, removal of temporary encroachments, removal of encroachments which bring water. All these are being done by you people. So we are looking for your experience, and so that we can publish it and inspire other people. The last point I would like to make is, all of you have done excellent work. I've seen many of the works done by all of you. So please share with us. But I also want request you to send it to us in our email. There's our National Water Mission's email. The website is nwm at gov.in. nwm@nsa.in. And please give us our the feedback of what you are doing and what all in your innovative steps you have taken in your field. Please give that as an email to us at catchtherain.nwm@gmail.com. I repeat that, catchtherain.nwm@gmail.com. Now, this is we expect that all of you would be sending your innovations and the steps you have taken to conserve water, and we'll be hoping to put it up on the website and inspire others. Now, today we have four eminent DMs who have done a lot of work in the water sector, particularly in the rainwater harvesting structures. Apart from these four DMs, we also have a water expert, Dr. Indukant Ragade, who has also done a lot of work in this water sector. So I will, for a proper distribution of balancing of the persons, I would request two DMs to talk first, and then in the middle we'll have the urban expert Vikrant urban expert Dr. Indukant Ragade, and then we'll have two DMs after that. So there's five persons will be distributed like that. And we start off with probably Mayur Dikshit, a 2002 batch IS officer. He has just been posted as the DM of Uttarkashi, but he had, along with Neeraj, worked in Uttam Singh Nagar district of Uttarakhand and did a lot of work there. For almost 1.5 years, that's from January 2019, he was CDO of Uttam Singh Nagar. And in the last 1.5 years, the team had done very good work. The work which we had actually mentioned before in the enumeration of the water bodies, and then removal of encroachments and try to increase the water capacity. Mayur is a product of IIT Kanpur, like our secretary, and he also studied in IIM Bangalore. So I request Mayur to share his experiences. Confine it to 15 minutes so that everybody gets time. Mayur, please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, Secretary Sir, Ashok Sir, and good evening to all the seniors and my colleagues, sir. A special thanks to Secretary Sir and Shovik Sir for giving me opportunity and motivating at every moment, sir. We have not done so much great work, but due to your guidance and motivation, we keep thinking that water is one of the top priority wherever we go, sir. Sir, I would like to, and to all the people or to everyone who are part of this virtual conference, sir, I would like to divide my talk in two parts. First is I would like to share what we did in Almora, sir, because there we did a different thing of rejuvenating a river, which is continuously going on because it's not a small 2-3 year task. People are continuously doing it, whoever are posted there. And secondly, to the work we did in Udham Singh Nagar, because that's a different type of terrain, tarai terrain. Starting with the Kosi River, I would like to tell to the participants here, the Kosi River is a very small river, around 150-160 kilometer river, which used to be a perennial river originating from Himalayas. It was not a glacial river, although, but it was a river which took its water from the groundwaters in the hills and the natural sources which are there in the mountains. But due to the excess discharge of the water to the drinking water supplies, extra deforestation and other reasons, the water supply or the water flow in the river reduced to around 20 times in 2 decades. So eventually it became only a seasonal river which used to flow only during the rains, that too with a very vigorous force, claiming lives and destroying other things in the banks. And it lost its perennial nature. So, as told by Secretary Sir in his talk, our Honorable Chief Minister actually took the initiative when he took charge in 2017 that every district should choose one river and rejuvenate them. That was the task given by the CM of Uttarakhand to all the DMs. And when we were posted in Almora, we were given the task of rejuvenating Kosi River in that part. We did a very vast scientific GIS survey of all the natural streams and small rivers, rivulets, which finally formed Kosi River, and did a study of what all to be done using GIS survey, where all we need to make trenches in hills, infiltration holes, water tanks, etc. And so that the rainwater comes into it and it slowly recharges the groundwater of the mountains, which eventually comes out as in the form of river. And during that process, we try to make it a public campaign because government can only do a little part of it. Most of the area in which the recharge has to be done was under reserve forest, dense forest was there. They were far off, far villages where it's not possible for everyone to go to monitor the things which we are doing. So we used technology and we also used extensive drone surveying for this process to monitor whether things are actually being done as we had done. And over from starting from 2018 beginning till date, around 400 million water capacity has been created in that particular area. This is around only 2 blocks of Almora district. And for that, every year we are doing, we used to do, and now also the team there is doing. On 16th of July, that is Harela Parv, which we celebrate in Kumaon region of Uttarakhand, more than 2 to 3 lakh trees are planted every year. And this is just a symbolic thing. Every day they still plant during the rainy season and after that plants. And this activity has already been registered in Limca Book of Record. It has been awarded as the best river rejuvenating award by Government of India and the National Water Award. And due to the motivation given by Government of India and the state government, now it has become a a word which every school child knows. All the NGOs are part of it. All the paramilitary military forces which are operational in Kumaon, they are part of it, and every part of the society has become is contributing how to recharge Kosi River. Talking about demand and supply, we have tried to increase the supply of water, but as far as the demand is concerned, as talked about it earlier also by the speakers, including the water harvesting and also telling people to judiciously use water, because Almora as a town is completely dependent on Kosi River for its water supplies. So if Kosi water drops down below a certain level, then the water has to be taken from the hand pumps or from using tanker supply. So, although it's a mountainous region, but there is a lot of scarcity of water in non-rainy seasons. So, people have now understood what is the gravity of the river, and uh, as far as the study has been conducted in the lean period, basically the before the rains, around 20% increase has been recorded in the water level of the Kosi River. GB Pant Institute of Himalayan Studies, which is also located in Kosi, Katarmal area, has been given the responsibility by Government of India, Ministry of Environment and Forest, to regularly monitor the Kosi River water level, and they have been also given funding for that. So that also we tried to do. We tried to did uh, in 2018 when we made a presentation in front of Secretary MOEF, so that convergence happens from the forest side also, because unless until forest authorities are also sensitized and they are also aware of the activities done by the administration and the local government, it will not be possible. So now forest, right from the PCCF level of the state head till the MOEF secretary, or everyone, they have been very supportive, and now they also released ample amount of funds to the state government and district administration to take this cause forward. And we hope that in the next 5 to 6 years there will be a tremendous increase in the water level of the Kosi River. Secondly, now I want to move to the work which we have done in Udham Nagar. Udham Nagar is a completely Tarai region area. The district completely located in Tarai region. It is very fertile. Land is very fertile. The productivity of wheat and rice is even higher than the Punjab and Haryana districts. Although the area of the district is very less, but 60% of the rice of the whole state comes from that. So, and the rice is grown twice and even thrice in that district. So even people sometimes get three rice crops in that district. So the pressure on the groundwater is very high. And summer paddy, as we call, as the people know it in Punjab also, is very prevalent in Udham Singh Nagar. So people sow the rice paddy uh, even before rain. Just after they harvest the wheat, they sow the rice, and during the rains they sow another season of rice. So there is a immense pressure on the groundwater table. So the complaint was also from the farmers, from the industries, and also there are so many industries and in Udham Singh Nagar, due to the development of the Sidkul industrial estate there, that the water level has gone down in steepest level across India. Is done study by the groundwater table also, and one study by Government of India also, that Udham Singh Nagar and the surrounding Tarai regions of Uttar Pradesh have seen marked decrease in groundwater table during the last decade. So that was the problem statement. Now to solve the statement, the obvious answer was to increase the groundwater table. To increase the groundwater table, there was not a simple solution as to rejuvenate a river or to harvest the groundwater, because each and every corner of the land has been utilized by industries or by the agri fields. So we thought of there is one judgment by Honorable Supreme Court in which of 2011, in which it has been laid down clearly that no encroachment on ponds can be regularized, and it is the duty of district administration and state government to rejuvenate and give the natural shape to the lost water body. So we made use of that Honorable Supreme Court order, and that helped us in smoothly eliminating all the hindrances of removing encroachment on the ponds which has been acquired or encroached by farmers, industries, landowners, etc. We identified 550 ponds in the district, which were as per the revenue record, and out of that we demarcated all the ponds with our revenue and block teams. That was in around 6 months in a mission mode in 2019, and all those ponds which were in rural areas, that were taken up by under Manrega, and those under urban areas were taken under by the companies as corporate social responsibility or my social responsibility. The companies which are not qualified under CSR, they were asked to adopt one pond each, and after a few months, actually they started coming on their own themselves that we want to take more ponds, because the goodwill they generated in the region by rejuvenating a pond, and thereafter employment generated through horticulture or fisheries in those ponds, they actually got motivated and started taking ponds by themselves. So as on date, around 400 ponds have been rejuvenated in Udham Singh Nagar. If I can, Shovik, is this possible to share the screen? Then I can show on map also that where all we have rejuvenated the ponds, and we also marked each pond to a tube around. Shovik, can you listen to me?
It should be possible to do a slideshow. That's not a problem. People have been making PowerPoint presentations.
Okay, sir.
Are you there? Shangmitra, are you there? Have you shared your presentations with them?
Sir, I have shared it. Can you see, sir? Can you see a map of district, sir?
Not as yet. Yeah, now
Sir,
yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So this is the map of district Udham Singh Nagar. I don't know how much clear it is, sir. There are some red dots and there are some blue dots. So if, the red dots are the ponds which we have rejuvenated. This is around 7 to 8 months old image. The numbers are older than that. So they show that across the district we have rejuvenated ponds. Now the number exceeds 400, which is shown 178 here. And we have also mapped each pond to a tube well. So the tube wells, because people used to say that our tube well is not functioning, our tube well is, we need to dig it more, etc. So we told people that if you are having a tube well, then there must be a pond nearby which you are responsible for rejuvenating it, and otherwise the tube well will lose its relevance and the use. So that was the strategy we used to convince the farmers which are influential and have encroached several hectares of land. So, and secondly, one other point which Ashok Kumar sir was mentioning, sir, summer paddy, as I told, that was a big issue there. So we also launched a parallel campaign of transforming farmers from summer paddy to maize, and around 2,000 hectares of maize cultivation has already started in Udham Singh Nagar. It was used to be negligible earlier. So now more and more people are moving from summer paddy to maize, as they are also getting better results to paddy. And also we increased micro irrigation and drip irrigation from 7 hectares to now 8,000 hectares in Udham Singh Nagar. So both drip irrigation has increased to around 8 times.
There is some kind of a river.
Yes, I am listening my voice actually.
Yeah. So what is so we can all mute ourselves.
Yes, sir. So what I was talking about, still there, sir. Hello. Yes, sir. So what I was talking about, as Ashok Kumar sir had mentioned earlier, sir, we also tried to divert the crop pattern from summer paddy to maize, and we were successful in convincing farmers, because there were 2 maize processing industries also in the district, to maize as a cultivation as a primary crop in the Kharif season, rather than which we used to grow 2 crops of paddy in that season. And also we increased the micro irrigation area under drip irrigation from 1,000 to 8,000 hectares. Udham Singh Nagar being an aspirational district also, that was keenly monitored by the Government of India, Niti Aayog also, and that was one of the parameters. So in both of the sides we were successful, both in the demand and supply side. And although I got transferred there, but the team is currently working with the same zeal and rigor. And I hope that all the ponds which we have identified will be rejuvenated within 1 year. I've just joined Uttarkashi, and since this is the land from where both Ganga and Yamuna originate, so I think there is a tremendous amount of work to be done here. Although the Yamunotri and Gangotri both have been in limelight for due to disasters in recent decade and due to the landslide which they have been causing, but if we keep everything, all the development aspects, keeping the environment and water flow conserved, and I think both things can go on. So we are planning to work very closely with the forest authorities also and environment authorities also, so that development aspects can also go on. But I think here also there is tremendous scope, and I from the district administration side, I want to assure our secretary sir and the team of Government of India that we will be doing good work here also, sir, and we will do something to show in at least 1 year. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayur. Very nice initiatives. You have addressed both the demand side and supply side, and also you are continuing with the seal. That's very important, very nice. And you are in a very important district now, as far as we are concerned. Namami Ganga projects and all, the Ganga and starts from there. So we have a very important role to play. So I thank you for the initiatives. Please share your initiatives with us, as I said before, in the cashterrain.nwm@gmail.com. So it will be very good. We'll put it in our platform, in our website. You can also see other works done by other districts. Okay, please share it up with your presentation.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Now I request Shiv Anand Dayal, DM of Memetara, Chhattisgarh, to speak about his initiatives. He is again from the 2012 batch, IAS, product of IIT Bombay, and also MTech from IIT Bombay, and in electronics and communication, and PhD in nano optics. He was recently commissioner of Raipur Municipal Corporation. So Cash the Rain campaign is actually focused on the municipalities also, because municipal area is where the rooftop rainwater harvesting structures have been extremely important. So I request Shiv to share his experiences.
Sure.
Thank you, Shiv.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Secretary, sir. Thank you to all the dignitaries and the team from APAC. Sir, I would like to first highlight the main problems that I believe are relevant in the case of water management. First of all, Chhattisgarh is a completely agrarian state, and we get an average of around 1000 mm rain every year. And in spite of a sufficient amount of rainfall, there is still a drought every 4th or 5th year. So the problem that has been identified is inefficient management, and we are working hard on that. We'll talk about that, sir. And secondly, I'll focus on some aspects of Jal Jeevan Mission, because a pilot of that, a kind of pilot of that Jal Jeevan Mission scheme, group water supply scheme, has been implemented in Benetara. There have been some successes and there have been some learnings from that project, sir. So I would like to share that. So, sir, first of all, thank you once again. So, sir, regarding the groundwater, sir. So, the groundwater, like the district that I'm posted in, Benetara, I've been here for around 7 months. So, this district is in the heart of Chhattisgarh, in the central geography, and it's a completely paddy harvested, paddy cultivated area. This is one of the districts where we have 2 crops, 3 crops every year, and there's a lot of summer paddy also grown, unfortunately. And like Mayur pointed out, the problem of summer paddy is that we lose a lot of water. It has a lot of cost in terms of water as well as energy. There's a lot of cost involved in pumping out the water, and the water consumption that is required is also high, as in the case of paddy. And the government is rightfully trying to discourage farmers from growing summer paddies. But the visible cost that the farmers, the grassroots farmer themselves highlight is that the groundwater has fallen from a depth of 50 feet to around 300 to 400 feet now, and that change has happened in the past maybe 5 to 6 years. And this is a very scary and a very worrisome development. And the primary reason is because, see, the aquifers that occur in the geostrata, they occur at discrete points. So the first aquifer is occurring at 50 feet and the second aquifer is occurring after 120 feet. So if we exhaust the aquifer at 50 feet, we have no option but to go towards the other aquifer, and we have to dig further 100 feet or so. But that is something that has to be taken care of while planning any water conservation effort. In Mahatma Gandhi Narega, what we're doing is we are making a lot of ponds, we are making a lot of recharge structures, we are making a lot of check dams. But I believe that's one place that the one dimension that we're not focusing on is that the dams, the ponds and the debris or the farm ponds or the big ponds, they don't act as water sources of water irrigation themselves. They are in proportion small sources of water recharge, because considering the volume of water that has to be recharged, they are not very high. And one good practice that we have observed and that has really made a difference is in the area of Berla that we have. So there, a progressive farmer, what he has done is he has developed a patch of land which is upwards of 500 acres, and this land till 7 years ago was arid. And the only differentiating factor that he has implemented in his land is that he has dug a pond which is 40 feet deep. And his understanding was that the rainwater should reach the aquifer directly. So the consequence of this effort is that in 8 years since that pond was built, an estimated area of around 2,000 acres is now fully hydrated in terms of aquifer recharge. And this is one aspect that we are trying to emulate in other parts of the district also. We are not focusing on making small ponds or debris, as they're called here, or though it's happening, we are not really focused on deepening the ponds further in Narega, because as much as we try, we'll not go beyond maybe 15 feet or 20 feet, because there are no provisions for machines in Narega, and there's a limit to human digging. So we have tried to use some budget from the watershed mission, and we are trying to develop some direct water recharge structures first, and second, some ponds as an experiment which strike deep till the aquifer, which is at 40 to 50 feet depth. So it has shown some promising results in the first season. We have tried to identify some 100 dried up bore wells, and we have made a direct water recharging system in those 100 bore wells. The idea is that these bore wells are located in remote areas, in remote fields, so the runoff, or there's very little probability of polluted water that will go inside. Secondly, we have made a filtering box or a filtering structure which is 10 feet by 10 feet by 10 feet on the head of the dried up bore well, which has activated charcoal, multiple layers of metal and sand, which serves to filter the rainwater that is falling, so that the probability of contaminants going right inside is reduced. Consequently, we have suffered some success. We have experienced some success in localized areas. Bore wells which were in the vicinity of dried up bore wells have started showing a recharge of water, and the quality of water we have got tested, and the results are encouraging. But we'll wait for a few more samples till we publish the final results. So the first takeaway from our studies in the field are that we have to focus more on direct water recharge. We have to focus more on hitting the aquifer, so that the water reaches the pervious layer and is ready to be used. And because indirect recharging will take time, and direct recharge has to be made more optimum and more efficient, so that the rainwater is efficiently conserved for future seasons. So the second point that I would like to touch upon is on the Jal Jeevan Mission. Though Jal Jeevan Mission is an upcoming scheme, but we have had the experience of 3 group water supply schemes in the district, which were tested as pilot around 6 years ago. Each of the scheme is serving a catchment of 50 villages within a radius of around, say, 20 to 30 kilometers each side. So the schemes are successful, but one learning that we have taken from this is that we have to be very strict about water thefts. As the water is pumped from the pumping station till the time it reaches the tail village, a lot of losses take place by way of theft. People use their own heavy duty pumps to take out water in the midstream. Consequently, around half of the villages in the tail get deprived of the water supply. So this is the same. This problem was also observed by us during the during the experience in urban administration, in urban areas also, I mean, in Amrit Mission, which is for there's a component for providing household connections to every household in the urban area. So though there's a lot of infrastructure, but again the same problem comes that we're not strict on the people who steal water in the sense that they could install their own motor pumps of maybe 3 HP, and where they should be drawing around 200 liters of water per day per head, they're drawing close to 700-800 liters of water, and the people who are at the fag end of the pipe distribution system are left without water. So unless we make a provision for this in the Jal Jeevan Mission, we will face a lot of challenges in the future. So again, in terms of the river rejuvenation, sir, I must congratulate Mayur on the excellent work that he's doing. So my only submission in this regard is that in smaller municipalities also, so in bigger municipalities, we have a lot of work is going on in the area of sewage treatment plants and in ensuring that the rivers which supply water and the rivers into which the wastewater is drained. So both of the sources, both the source and both the outlet are taken care of. So in Raipur, excellent work has been done because there's the 200 MLD plant for treating the wastewater is almost in place, and it may be commissioned by the beginning of next year. However, in smaller areas, maybe municipalities or Nagriya areas or urban areas with population less than maybe 2 lakhs, work still needs to be done on managing wastewater, sir, because in most of these places, we take the drinking water from upstream of a river and we let out the wastewater into the downstream, and most of the wastewater goes untreated. So consequently, any settlement which is downstream, further downstream of the river, will be subject to contamination or pollution or the ill effects of wastewater. So I believe that we have to have some intervention or some low-cost solutions for managing sewage when it comes to smaller municipalities. This is something that I would like to stress on, sir. And regarding, sir, water conservation, another thing that we're trying to do is that we are trying to encourage farmers to, like Mayur said, we're trying to encourage farmers to diversify from summer paddy, because in Chhattisgarh we have the government arrangement to purchase all the paddy that has been grown by the farmer. So any kind of summer paddy incurs extra cost on the government, because the cost of the farmer is also availing the cost of subsidized electricity to pump out water, and the extra cost of environment and the invisible costs are also involved. But there has been some success, but we still have a long way to go. We have to focus on crop diversification. We have to focus on more stress on some cash crops or some crops which give more output in terms of less inputs. So that's another thing that we're focusing on. We are focusing on food processing industries, and that indirectly they lead to water conservation. So, though I'll not touch more on that issue. So, so these were my observations and my initiatives from Sir Demetra district in Chhattisgarh. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shiv. Excellent. You have touched new areas, because this is the advantage of diverse viewpoints coming up, because different areas have different solutions, and different DMs have done very, very unique things which can be put into one platform so that can be shared. So the Catch the Rain campaign also very appropriately says that to create rainwater harvesting structures appropriate to the area, subsoil structure and the climatic conditions, and with people's participation. So what we have done is exactly that. You have actually come out with a unique this direct recharge system. But one word of caution, because when we were discussing with many people, the contamination that it can cause, and the extent of contamination this direct recharge and can is very, very phenomenal. So that is something we have to be extremely cautious about it. So that's one thing. You are also taking care of it, but this is one thing which we have to keep in mind. So everybody should not be able to pump directly the lower aquifer. That's one thing which you have to keep in mind. And as you rightly mentioned, these are all experience voices in the field about the theft of water which happens in the pipeline. It always happens in the irrigation systems, but when we are supplying drinking water at a lot of cost involved in pumping the water, this has to be the transmission losses has to be checked up, and definitely Secretary Sir will take care of it. And the last one about the crop diversion, that this has to be pursued because more and more area is coming under paddy cultivation. Summer paddy cultivation is actually taking up a lot of water and drawing up a lot of groundwater, which is creating a lot of problem in future. So we have to identify this issue and then work on that to divert it to maize. Rightly so, you have some area where you can grow maize. Please try to grow maize and you tie up with the market, because this is one of the reasons why the farmers are going for paddy is because of the MSP and the sure procurement process of the government. So this is something which district administration at the local level can discourage the procurement of a particular season, so that people will get diverted to other crops. Very excellent presentation, Shiv. Nice for giving up some new views on that. And now I request.
Just one point.
Sir.
Since you read everything, river rejuvenation, I would say, Shiv, I have been dealing with this for last 4 years or so. Generally, river rejuvenation, everybody thinks only in terms of, I'm not saying sewage management is not important. Sewage management is important, but what is more important is the water in the river. The definition of river is that which flows. And I always say, when they talk of Delhi, Yamuna, everybody talks of sewage management. I said, no. Yamuna in Delhi for 8 months is not a river, because no water flows downstream of Wazirabad barrage in Yamuna actually. So how to increase in long term, how to increase the flow in the river is very important. As far as sewage management is concerned, in fact, I have been interacting with all the states for this 351 polluted river stretch. So I have been holding a monthly meeting either with the chief secretary or the senior officers, and whatever initiative has been. Chhattisgarh hardly had any working sewage plants actually till very recently. So now a lot of sewage treatment plants are coming, but I would not talk here because there what should I say, challenge is different. We pay for construction, we don't pay for performance. So what we do is that we construct sewage treatment plants, but either those sewage treatment plants do not function, or they function at a very low capacity, or their quality of treatment is very poor. So anyway, I'm working for throughout the country how this increases, how at one stage you can do a monitoring, and basically because everybody would take so much sewage treatment capacity has been created. Nobody says how much sewage is being treated. Any literature you read anywhere, it only says so much sewage generation, so much sewage treatment capacity created. So anyway, that's another topic which is very important. And other two things, Ashok, I would say, yes, one should be considered, one should be conscious of the not polluting the aquifers, but I think one should not be basically emphasizing it too much. He himself says that most of these defunct tubewells are located in basically paddy fields and other places, actually a little away from the habitations, and also and then he is also taking certain measures for that. But it's something which is very good, because this could be a very good source of reaching the water, reaching the aquifers actually. See, what is, as you rightly said, what is the difference between natural recharge and artificial recharge? If I have to climb a, let's say 10-floor building, then if I take the steps, it will take me maybe 10 minutes. If I use a lift, it takes me 1 minute actually. So that is the difference between a natural recharge and an artificial recharge. And this is a good way of artificially recharging directly the aquifer actually. So anyway, good work done. And next, Ashok, let's move on to the next
now
speaker.
I invite Dr. Indukant Regade to give his address. Dr. Indukant Regade holds a PhD in organic chemistry from the Presidency College of Madras in 1963, a very veteran person, and was also a postdoctoral fellow in the University of Illinois and South California in 64. And he had been working in the water sector in Chennai for quite some time. He has written a book on self-reliance in water, a very good practical manual which steps out, which really gives various steps associated with rainwater harvesting structures, and what is to be done in urban sector. What are 3 or 4 different ways of conserving and rejuvenating water in the urban areas? I request Dr. Indukant Jagade to give his speech. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon to all my fellow panelists. Okay, I am indeed privileged to participate in this uh, program and share my thoughts in the field of water management in the domestic sector in an urban center, that is Chennai. Okay. Chennai is rain rich. If all the rain that follows every year is collected, everybody can get 150 liters of water. But actual available water for the citizens is very low, you see. And we are fortunate in India that we get much more rain than many other countries in the world. But then we don't manage it all right, you see. So the situation in most urban centers is piped water is in short supply. Now, this is not going to be eliminated very shortly, very soon. So the only way in which citizens can help themselves get more water, help themselves and get more water. And how can they get more water from their own premises? You see, and in that field, you see, I was working in with a company involved in the construction of four-story residential complexes, and when they were developing a new project in a place, they demolished the old building and dumped the debris in the well that was in the garden. You see, and then they dug up borewells which either yielded poor quality or poor yield. You see, now this led me to get into this area of providing water security to the residents who spend their lifetime savings to get a flat. You see, and that is what some of it, as far as rainwater harvesting is concerned, I would like to present today. You see, now what we need in India is simple methods for any such activity without compromising on efficiency and requiring minimum of human involvement. You see, now I have introduced the rainwater harvesting system in more than 140 flat complexes in Chennai. You see, now my method is extremely simple. You see, rainwater harvesting is generally understood to be, terrace water harvesting, terrace rainwater. Actually, it is more than that. You see, now terrace rainwater falls not only on the terrace, it falls on the open spaces outside the building. You see, and in many cases, the area of the opens is much more than the terrace area. So much more water falls on the open spaces and goes away, you see, onto the road. So this is where I started my focus on rainwater harvesting. And you see, and what I've done is extremely simple. You see, I just connect, I just connect the first one. Yeah. No, no, this is. May I have the first slide, please? Yes. No, yeah. See, this is the place where it was the first harvesting system. You see, is where I live. These pipes that are coming down are coming from one part of the terrace, and there was a well at the corner of the plot, and I just connected it to that well straight. You will see. Next slide, please. Yeah, see the well is at the end, and I just connected directly. Absolutely no filter, nothing else. All I did was I kept this terrace clean, you see, free of dust and all that, and overhanging branches of trees, I just cut them so that the leaves won't fall on the terrace. And the well, which used to dry by March, ceased drying up. It was available for the entire year. You see, this is the simplest way, you see, of harvesting rainwater. You see, now the well has practically disappeared. This traditional dug well has practically disappeared from various places. But I have introduced it in more than 150 places. In fact, the traditional dug well has the advantage of receiving enormous large quantities of water in a short period and supplying large quantities of water in a short period. Besides, its maintenance is very simple You see? And it can be put anywhere. I have put a well even inside a car parking area, you see, in in several complexes, you see. So all you have to do is to keep the terrace clean before the onset of the monsoon, avoid branches putting leaves on the terrace. That's all, you see. So this is simplest version of terrace and effective, you see, very effective. And what about the water that is falling on the open spaces around the buildings? You see, now most places, no, most buildings now have their open spaces paved. You see, to enable parking and movement of four-wheelers and two-wheelers. Now, this paved surface, as per the building code, has to be sloped towards the gate so that there's no inundation of water inside the premises and it goes out onto the road through the gate. Now, this is seen as by many people as preventing absorption of water into the ground, and therefore that's why we are having water shortage. Actually, I saw it not as a problem, but I saw it as an advantage. See, here was a place which was available to me, which brought all the water to the gate. You see, so all that I did was I connected. This is a picture. Can I have the um, okay, this I can tell you. The water which went into the well, I had a small point here. The inlet pipe, I made a slight bend because if the water coming from the terrace comes at a momentum and if it falls on 20 feet, 30 feet into the well, it will disturb the water level during summer and the water may become muddy. By diverting it to with a bend to the water hits the wall, the momentum is taken and water flows down slowly. It's a simple mechanism to get without disturbing the quality of the water down, recharging the water. So next slide, please. Can I have the next slide, please? Yeah. See, the water that is going out through the gate, I simply trapped it at the gate. See, between the two gate columns, you can see in this chart, I put a small drain trench about a 1 foot deep, you see, and covered it with cemented trough and covered it with perforated RCC slab so that movement of vehicles is free and safe, you see, and connected it to, you see that pit nearby. This can be a well or it can be an absorption pit. An absorption pit is a pit which reaches up to a reasonably sandy layer. So if you put water into it, it will absorb the water and pass it down. A well means you are reaching the water table. You can either do that or you can reach the absorption pit layer and finish it off. So I connected it to a well actually here. So all the water that was flowing through the gate was diverted into this pit. And so all that water, in more interesting is this was in the front of the plot. The well that you saw was at the back of the plot. Now water that is put into this well passes through the soil, gets fully cleaned. You see, you might say water falling on the open spaces might contain so many other things, extraneous matter. You see, how can you use that water? This water passes through the soil from this well to the source well at the back. All the extraneous materials are removed and clean water reaches that well at the back. And you can use it for all purposes, you see. So they have got a simple water collection system which gives you water or any use, you see. And water quality keeps on improving also. If it is not potable to start with, it will become potable over the years. Now, everybody may not have a well, but you can collect water in a sump or a drum, you see, and the overflow can be put in a well if you have a well. See, collection of water in a sump is a limited area. After all, we get water only for a limited number of days. The rain falls only in about 60 days in the year, say. That has to be stored for the rest of the year. But if you can't do that, you collect it in a sump. Okay, that water at least is available for your drinking purposes. And in places where you have the water containing fluoride or arsenic or large amounts of iron, all these are avoided if you collect the rainwater and use it for your cooking and drinking needs. You see, it's a very safe method. You see, to avoid problems faced by citizens when the groundwater is having fluoride or arsenic. You see, so this is the two simple methods by which you can get lot of water. You see, I've even tapped water falling on the road by putting a small trench at the bottom and in the front of the near the edge of the road and connecting it to the same uh, pit, the same well. And water which used to inundate the road for days were cleared out within 6 hours. So that also is there. You can collect it that way also. So these, in short, are the simple methods of collecting rainwater, which I have done in more than 140 places. Now, the other aspect of this is to give water security is the clear and treatment and reuse of water used for bathing and washing of clothes. Although it's not part of this seminar, I am tempted to give just a few minutes for that. You see, this water used for bathing and washing of clothes contains micro quantities of organics and inorganics. You see, and it's a sterile water, excellent used quality water. You see, what I can do is we can clean this within the premises. You see, in the garden, using nothing but garden soil, water loving plants, and sunlight. That's all that you need, see, for a water treatment. You see, the water living plants can be. Uh, no, this is the trench at the gate. No. Previous one, please. Previous one. This is the trench at the gate. You see, into which the water is trapped at the gate. You see, the previous one is the previous one, please. Previous one. This one shows you, the trench is at the between the two columns of the gate. You see. So that's it. Now, can we have that last slide? Yeah. See here. No, the previous one. Here you see the water coming from 4 flats, from 4 stories, is falling into a gully in the corner, open gully, and going to the internal drainage line. All I did was to divert it with an elbow to a garden plot on which I grew cannas. You see, that's all. You see, this water, as it passes into the soil, is cleaned by the plants, and the sunlight gives the plants growth. And the water is clean. Not only that, you see, there's one ingredient called STPP, a phosphate in detergents that makes this plant grow lush, and you have a beautiful garden. And this water, most of these are removed. You see, these organics are removed. The salts may not be removed, but there are micro quantities. This water also passes through the soil and reaches the well on the other end. So you can have a recycling system also in a simple manner, whereby you can collect almost 60 to 65% of the water that you use for complete reuse. You see? Now, borewells, many people have borewells. Can we charge rainwater into a borewell? Yes, but then it's an involved process. It requires more expenditure and requires more attention, maintenance, and care. You see, and efficiency may not be even half of the efficiency get simply by putting water into the well. So we must take all steps to revive the traditional dug well, which I feel, coupled with rainwater harvesting recycling, will provide substantial self-reliance to urban citizens. You see, this I have done over 140 projects, as I told you, and they're serving well. You see, nobody has complained about them, and the sustainability is there in both of these systems. And now we can. That's all I think I have present this short period. Any questions? I'll be happy. This is the first project where I did the recycling process, and the flower patch at the end is the treatment unit, and the pit in the front is where it used to fall. I used to test it there. And this well I dug in that complex of 8 flats at 25 feet, I hit rock, and there was no water, not a drop of water. But after I started this activity, trying to see how it works, and over 6 months, and I established the process. One summer, I found water was oozing down the well, in a dry well. I was wondering what happened. Yeah, then I realized the water put into the pit where I was collecting the sample for testing was actually passing through the soil and falling into the well, you see. And the happy thing is that in summer, in the rainy season, the well got filled up to the brim practically, and they could get that water for more than 3 months. You see, so this water treatment system, coupled with rainwater harvesting, can give substantial self-reliance to urban citizens. Thank you, sir.
Has been the
So I guess,
center.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Sir.
we can hear.
Yeah, Mr. Pagade, first of all, thank you very much for being here. And three things I liked really in your speech. The
Yes, sir,
Can
I
you
can
hear
hear
me?
you.
Okay. So the first one, when you said made a statement, everybody in the country talks of how we are water stressed and how we are deficient in water. And you started with saying that, and Chennai, everybody quotes actually that Chennai would go the Cape Town way or something. And you started your statement by saying that Chennai is water rich actually. And I'm very happy about it in the sense that yesterday also in our water talk, Jyoti Sharma ji, who was the speaker, she came out with a figure of rainfall per capita per day in India. They calculated for different cities or different states. And some states, generally we say our requirement is 135 liter per capita per day in urban areas and maybe about 50, 60 in rural areas. And yesterday figures were saying, except maybe a place like Delhi, which has too much population in a much smaller area, but every other places you have few thousand kind of. Your requirement may be 50, 60, but what availability in terms of rainfall per capita per day works out to be something like 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 kind of 20,000. So, so if we manage our water, as you rightly said, there is no need that all the kind of doomsday which is being predicted. The other very good point you made about the dug wells, in the sense that somehow we think that the dug wells are anachronism actually, and they are not to be something really bothered about in this age when we get a tap water or something. And that's what I keep talking almost every time the Banda's experiment of Kuan Talao Jiao Abhiyan, making the Kuan and Talabs again a kind of Jivit. That one, and the third one very rightly, because when Tayal was talking of, he was talking of low cost solutions for smaller cities and villages as far as the water treatment is concerned. And you are talking basically what is called a phytoremediation actually, either a constructed wetland or a phytoremediation. And Kena plant is a very good plant as far as the phytoremediation is concerned. So thank you very much for making especially these three very important observations. Thank you very much.
I'd like to add one more thing, sir. We always talk about the rooftop rainwater harvesting structures, and in the catch rain campaign also we have stressed for the open areas. So Dr. Ragade also mentioned about the importance of the of catching the rain falling in the compound areas. So that's very nice of you. And we also tried to get inspiration from a lot of things happening in Chennai. So we had Dr. Mr. Raghavan from Rain Center yesterday. One of the model which we have been pushing in the campaign is setting up of rain centers. So all the DMs are here. So I request the DMs that the idea of having a rain center in every district was to have a technical sender which can answer to all the technical queries on how to create rainwater harvesting structure. So the model which in the catch rain campaign we had proposed was to have a rain center either in the Gram Panchayat, district headquarters or municipality with a mobile phone. Because now mobile phone is available everywhere. So one mobile phone can be number can be made popular by using the newspaper or wall writings. That number would be that phone would be carried by a person sitting there, and he or she will be answering the questions related to how to create rainwater harvesting structures and what would be the approximate estimates. See, everybody talks about rainwater harvesting structures, and actually many people do not know how to construct it. So this particular technical knowledge gap has to be bridged by these rain centers. So my request to all the district collectors and Vikrant is coming. Vikrant, you should also take it up that every district should have a rain center sort of thing. It need not be a physical structure. It can be a person or 3 persons. having technical knowledge on how to construct the rain structures and give that number in publicity so that people can talk to them and try to create the do the construction. Small initiatives like Dr. Agade said, canal plans, and this all can be explained to him, by given training to him, so that they can tell to the people. So this is the multiplier effect, and we will be able to reach out more and more people in this thing. So I request all the DMs that they should start a rain center in every district and guide the people how to create rainwater harvesting structures, and slowly this can be a water knowledge center. So when there is rain, we talk about rainwater harvesting structures. Then we can be using it for demand side management, how to use better crops. That can be taught. So this person or the rain center can be a water knowledge center. So around the year, throughout the year, information on the water harvesting structures, water, better management of water, better cropping pattern, better agriculture practice, all related to water can be talked about. So this you should try to develop as a center. Thanks, Dr. Ragade. And now I call Vikram Raja, the presently Secretary to CM and former DM of Karikal. He is a 2015 batch Agmut cadre officer, and he actually linked tradition. So the Karikal was part of the Chola dynasty, and there were a lot of tanks. So he used the historical background and linked that cultural linkage with the people to motivate people to create rainwater harvesting structures, and how in the old period of Chola dynasty period, where these Kaveri water which used to inundate which used to actually irrigate the fields and not inundate. Presently, things are inundating them and causing damage. So these are the historical and cultural linkages he had used to motivate the people in Karaikal to take up the rainwater, to restore the water bodies there. He also came out with the concept of the employee social responsibility, where employees were actually government employees were asked to do some good job as far as rainwater harvesting structures, like my social responsibility used in the Uttam Singh Nagar. Here they use the concept of my employee social responsibility. More from Vikram. I request Vikram to speak about it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Respected sirs and panel members, I take this opportunity to present about the work we have done in Karikal, which happened during a short phase of 3 months of time. So I would like to give a small presentation on it, sir. So we termed it as NAMNI, behavioral change-based approach for water management. And as mentioned by Assistant Secretary, sir, the idea of water conservation in Karaikal, we were inspired by the Chola tradition here. So we can go for the next slide. Yeah. So the basic problem in water, what we were facing in Karaikal and also in many places, was water being a common good, especially water body being a common good, as all common goods face a tragedy of commons. So water body in Karaikal was also facing tragedy of commons, because when there is a common good, people's activity will be more on increasing the private benefit over the community benefit. So this has to be addressed while conserving water bodies, and we were been using behavioral economics techniques as well as nudging in order to make it as a people's movement. So rather than being it as a standalone scheme, we wanted to make it as a people's movement. So we can go for the next slide, please. Yeah. Previously. So what happened was, in Karaikal, we started a scheme called as NAMNI. So as I have to say, so this is an idea where water management will be made into a people's movement. Rather than a scheme or an ideology, should be like a people's movement, where each and every citizen in Karaikal should be able to identify water management to himself. So we started making in stakeholders. As I have mentioned in my stakeholders list, the first stakeholders are people of Karaikal. So they were the first stakeholder that we want to take them into. Then educational institutions in Karaikal, financial institutions like banks, then religious institutions like temples and as well as mosques and churches, then civil societies. We were also involving Chamber of Commerce, Rotary Club, Round Table, and all kind of civil societies. Then we involved the companies in Karaikal, corporate companies, and finally government officials. And we were creating messengers, the water warriors for us, who will be carrying the message to the rest of the people. So these water warriors who helped us were mainly women self-help group members. So we trained women self-help group regarding IEC and other practices, and then we also used Gram Roster Sevak of MG Narega scheme. So as we all know, sir, like MG Narega is used as an important tool in water management. But what happens is people try to link it as an employment guarantee scheme, and they focus less on creating the assets out of it. In the sense, not even desilting channels and ponds, people must be emotionally connected to work, whatever they do. So the work will be like the emotional connection will be reflected in the quality of the work. So we were taking this Gram Roskar Sevak, or in other states it is mostly referred as site mestri, who will be in charge of an MG Narega in each and every village, and they will be supervising the work. And we were bringing in school and college students with the help of NSS. So we created a whole bunch of people who will be our messengers, who will be carrying the message on behalf of the district administration to the rest of the people. Next slide. So Karaikal district, I just want to give a small profile about Karaikal district. It's a very small district of 157 square kilometer of area. And interestingly, it was 161 square kilometer before tsunami, and after tsunami, it has lost 4 square kilometer area. So it is situated in the eastern coast of India, and especially it is in the delta region. As many DMs were speaking, they were working in the upper reach of a river, where the river gets generated, where they have to ensure their sustainability. Thanks to those people in the upper reach, because of them, we will be able to receive the water in the down reach, in the mouth of the river, or in the delta region. So Karaikal is a part of Kaveri Delta region, and if we are going to see the rainfall, as Secretary Sir was rightly mentioning, we have enough rainfall in Karaikal per year, because it is about 126 centimeter per year. But the problem with the profile of distribution of the rainfall is nearly 68% of the rainfall occurs during the month of October to December. And November month is considered as the rainiest month in the year. And we don't get much rainfall during the southwest monsoon or the summer rainfall. So the average range of the average rainfall is very wide in Karaikal. So if at all we are not going to catch the rain at the right time, we may not have the water availability in the rest of the year. So knowing this idea, the concept of creating smaller water bodies in a very extensive level was practiced during the ancient times. So that was the times where they have dedicated channels of kilometers long to create huge water bodies in each and every habitation area. To say, for a simple example, in Karaikal, there is a small region called as TR Pattinam. It was an erstwhile Tamil song says that that particular region had 108 temples and 108 ponds associated with each and every temple. So now the commune panchayat or the local body were able to have only 44 of them, and we have done extensive survey and identified nearly 98 of them. And it will be very much surprising to see each and every street will have a water body there. So such a kind of water management was being practiced in ancient times. So we want to bring them back. So in the process of bringing these water bodies back, we want to involve the people there, because whenever we visited most of the water bodies, it was either slowly getting converted into a dump yard, or it was being encroached by some other person, or the sewage water is being let into the water bodies. So in order to bring a behavioral change, we were focusing on two issues. One is on IEC practices and also nudging practice. So next slide, please. So these are the preparatory meetings we have done. So GRS, MG Narega workers, we called everyone to our office and had a very lengthy discussion with them, making them to understand what is their important role in making the people to do the work in MG Narega. Because unless they are able to communicate to the people there and make them to emotionally get connected to the work, we may not get the intended result. The next, we used NSS coordinators. We called all the NSS coordinators of the district. We asked them to come up with a proposal of clear-cut IEC charts, whereby every day there will be some activity happening in the district. So we fixed also a timeline of 90 days, because these activities we started, sir, by around June. And July was the takeoff date, And before September, we wanted to complete it because from October, our northeast rainfall starts. And also, we had a very good monsoon last year in Karnataka, and hence we have been much sure of receiving the Kaveri water. So we have to prepare ourselves to ensure that Kaveri water reaches the last mile of Karaikal. At the same time, the water bodies traditionally that were storing Kaveri water were lost. We have to revive them before the water reaches us. So we had a mission mode project of 90 days. We gave ourselves an exit date of 90th day as September 30. So the IEC activity will go on for all the 90 days. So that's how we planned the IEC activities. Sir. Then we called upon the companies there and requested to include water management as one of their priority in their CSR activities, which the companies readily accepted. And second thing is we spoke with the commercial establishment, especially hotels and big water consuming establishments, where we requested them to increase the efficiency of the water usage as well as involve themselves in grey water management. And finally, we called the religious institutions. Interestingly, the traditional water bodies were always associated with the religious institution in order to ensure that people doesn't encroach on it or it has been conserved. But unfortunately, we also came to know that many religious water bodies or water bodies belonging to religious institutions were taken away. So we called upon those leaders and requested them to diesel their water bodies. Finally, we called the civil societies like Rotary Club and others who helped us in IEC as well as they helped us in desilting of water bodies and channels. Next slide. So this shows the IEC activities, and I'm just able to give you only two pictures. There are every day in the newspaper there used to be articles, and every day if you are going to walk in any street of Karaikal, you will be finding children roaming around to their houses like signature campaign, getting a pledge from their parents that they will not throw the waste into water bodies and they will not let their sewage into water bodies. Interestingly, it worked because many a times when we were noticing why we were targeting children were whenever they start for their school along with their parents. This was the time they sit in the vehicle along with their parents and they were the one who throw their waste into the dustbin or the dump yard. So this kind of behavioral change, we took a pledge from students that they will never throw waste as such. They will be involving in segregation of waste and never they will try to pollute a water body. And interestingly, certain schools children and college children, they came up and contributed their pocket money of 50 and 100 and they created a corpus fund which they wanted to use for creating a water body. And this happened because we have extensively enumerated the water bodies in Karaikal and it was around 545 water bodies. And in that 545 water bodies, we identified nearly 200 water bodies were to be renovated or revived or desilted. And among that, this revenue records came in handy as was mentioning by Mayush sir. So we used the revenue records and we started allocating the water bodies to everyone. Next slide, please. So what are the innovations we brought in here? Number one is we introduced something called as temple social responsibility. Interestingly, on the first day, the first water desilted was belonging to a temple. And we created a puja since it belongs to a temple. And once the news came up in the media, we were receiving calls from many people ready to give their money for renovating temple water bodies. And especially two temples for taking up water body conservation. So this gave a very big boost for us because here there are temples in South India especially, which they own to 500 acres of land. Here, nearly 5 villages in Karaikal is owned by one single temple. So we were identifying the water bodies that were there in the villages 40 years ago and 50 years ago. And we came to know that there were 32 water bodies that belongs to the temple, which were disappeared in the course of time. And all the 32 water bodies were being taken up again and it was recreated using temple social responsibility. And here there is a very famous temple that is dedicated for Shani Bhagavan, Lord Saturn. And as many would have been aware about it, there is a famous belief that there is a tank here called as Nala tank, where the king Nala took a holy dip while worshipping the Shiva and by then he was been relieved of the deeds of Shani. So people whoever visits this temple used to take a holy dip from that tank. And that tank was filled using, earlier days it was filled using river water, and during the renovation and making a tank into bigger size, we have ended up using underground water using the motor pumped water. And this resulted in the water getting polluted every time because people take oil bath in that. They dip themselves with oil and then take a bath in that, and the water was getting polluted and they used to leave their clothes. It's again a belief that once you leave the cloth in the pond, the Shani's bad deeds goes along with it. So we want to create some kind of awareness where, because of that, every Saturday the water has to be completely removed from the pond and it has to be refilled with the underground water. So we created a request from the district administration that no clothes should be left in the pond. For that, we created bins along the ponds, and we started playing a small audio clip saying that leaving this cloth in this holy pond may result in a sin because you are polluting the pond, the holy pond. And on the very first day itself, we got a very good response from people because we have been playing it in 5 different languages. No matter from which region of this country they were coming from, they were abiding to it, and they were also very much happy to see a clean water. And the water which has been removed every 3 days, now they are removing every 15 days to 30 days based on the crowd. So there we were able to save much of the water. The next thing came up with the employee social responsibility. This idea propped us on us when we were having the preparatory meetings with the companies. So when we were asking the CSR, few of our staffs were asking us, sir, every year for each and everything we are asking CSR to private companies. But what we have done as an organization, what we have done as a government office. So for this, on July 3rd, we made a circular requesting all the government officers, if at all on voluntary basis they are willing to adopt a pond, it will be very much appreciated and they will be recognized for that. And in the circular, in the last line, we have mentioned that though it is voluntary, the collectorate of Karaikal district collectorate office has decided to take one pond. And that served as a nudging effect for other admin officers, and nearly 55 ponds were taken up by various government offices. And interestingly, all those ponds are being recognized now as either collector office pond or sub-collector office pond or town police station pond, and those as such. So every department started taking pride in that, and because of that, this pond is now devoid of all kind of pollutions. No sewage water gets into it. No one's dashed to encroach it right now because all those ponds are being strategically identified according to their locations, and hence the government officers are keeping a keen watch on this. And the third thing was community social responsibility. Here we want to bring in the community and to involved in the water management, especially desilting of ponds. And interestingly, Madras High Court has came up with a judgment regarding banning of the flex banner culture in Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry. So this was very much helpful for us because during the birthdays of stars and political leaders, and for many occasions, people used to spend huge amount on keeping flex banners. So we from district administration gave a request to all the followers saying that if you want to celebrate someone's birthday, your close ones, your leaders, your icons, you can celebrate it by desilting a pond and gifting to them. So this came as a welcome move, and bank employees, they came together, they got benefit from a free coaching through a particular bank officer, and during his birthday, the managers of Karaikal banks came together and they desilted a lost pond, and they gifted it to gifted in the sense they dedicated it for their teacher. So this was creating as a good move. And even in MG Naraga sites, seeing the benefit of it, I will be sharing what are the nudges we used in the MG Naraga sites and people for taking up the desilting of ponds. So there people got highly emotional and people came together, like a JCB owner in the village. He started to give the JCB for free of cost, and he requested only to fill diesel for that. And the local people also came up together. They invested some money, and out of 178 ponds, nearly 10 to 15 ponds are taken up by the people themselves, investing their own money and time. So these are the things that we have done, and we are also done few innovations in plantations also. We requested all the commercial establishments to plant 10 trees at least and then maintain it so that we will come and inspect it every year. In that case, during issuance of temporary licenses to cracker shop, we gave an appeal to cracker shop owner because 2018 we had a very devastating cyclone called as Gaja in Karaikal and Nagapattinam that has uprooted almost all the trees in government schools and roadsides. So we requested them to go and plant 10 trees in each and every government school if at all possible, and get a letter signed from the headmaster there. So through that we were been able to plant nearly 1,000 trees in 2 days, and they all came up voluntarily and they were planting even more than 10 trees, and all the trees were been associated to the schools. And in schools we ensured that after the midday meals, whenever the students were using the wash basin for washing their hands, that water is being directed to water the plants. Next slide, please. So this So this is the set of questions we used to ask usually during an MG Narega work site. So first question we ask them is, how many of them know to swim? And for that, almost entire crowd raised their hands, because obviously everyone were knowing to swim. And the second question was, where did you learn to swim? Their answer is always their village pond. And third question was, how many of your children know how to swim? And their answer was very, very minimum, because only few of them know to swim. And we asked the reason, and most of the time the village pond water is not clear, or the village pond is lost, or it has turned into dump site. And the final question we used to ask them is, how many among you will be ready to engage in reviving the pond so your children can learn swimming? And they were able to emotionally connect them with the pond. Their memories were triggered. Their childhood memories of using the pond for bathing and swimming were triggered. And they agreed to that. And there was a loud resonating sound that came up. And we ended up creating nearly 100 ponds using MG Narega alone. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So here I want to highlight that sometimes the solutions of our questions are too close to hide our vision. So the people who have been triggered using their memories and emotional connection, and this nudge was helpful for us to recreate the ponds. Next slide, please. So components that we were used in Namneer is, first is desilting major channels and minor channels on water bodies. For desilting major channels, we needed machinery's help, and hence we got the CSR funding for that. Nearly 80.5 kilometer channels were desilted with the help of temple social responsibility and corporate social responsibility. The next one was reviving of lost water bodies and reviving of community wells. We have revived nearly 4 community wells that became defunct. And we created a movement called as Green Lung Karaikal for an intensive afforestation drive. Next slide, please. So this picture will be explaining in a much better way. All the children and school children are fondly carrying their own tree samplings, and they took up the responsibility of maintaining that. Next slide, please. So fruits of our efforts. Next slide, please. 178 ponds, 80.9 kilometers of major channels, 640 kilometers of minor channels, and 24,700 tree samplings were planted in 80 days. As we were been having an exit date for us, we had only 80 days with us, and the outcome was, next slide, please. The outcome was the underground level increased from 10 feet to 15 feet, and the recent study did in February said that it has increased to 15 feet. The area under cultivation increased. This year, during the cotton sowing, 100 acres has been increased in the total area sown for the cotton season, and the barren land, which has been barren, remained barren since tsunami time because of seawater institution and lack of clean water availability, was been brought to cultivation after 15 years. And the revived ponds were allotted to women self-help groups for aquaculture. Now nearly 58 ponds were allotted to 58 women self-help groups in Karaikal, and they are involved in aquaculture in that ponds. And finally, the children of their family learned to swim in their own, in the ponds that were created by them. Final slide, please. So not everyone gets an opportunity to change this world. If you get one, it's not just an opportunity, but an obligation. So we in district administrations, we, by virtue of clearing this exam and being an IAS officer, we are given this opportunity. So we should believe it that it's not just an opportunity, but an obligation. Thank you, sir.
Wonderful, Vikram. So this is actually very inspiring, because getting the people involved, making it as a people's movement is very important. As you rightly said it, unless everybody is involved into it, and it makes that as a sort of a festival in the place, it will not happen. You had the advantage of being a smaller district, 150 square kilometers. Your reach is there nearby, but that is every district has its own strengths and weaknesses, and you had used your economic background very well, like using the nudging theories and getting the people appropriately, using religious leaders, using students, and then using their pride, diverting their propensity to go for celebration of film stars. That's a Tamil Nadu culture. A lot of them have these fans of film stars, and so fan mandali and all are there. So this is exactly what Secretary always used to say, that solution for water problem has to be done at decentralized level, because what we say from the government of India is not properly applicable all of this. India is a vast country, so solutions will be found at the local level by the district administration, by the district magistrate. Very nice effort, and I think that all these things are there in our definition of the cash rain campaign. Please look at your emails; it is there. It is actually meant to nudge. Our statement of cash rain itself says that it is to nudge stakeholders and states to create appropriate rainwater harvesting structures suitable to the soil surface and the climatic conditions. Because what is suitable in Ladakh is not suitable in Rajasthan. We had a water talk given by this Sonam Wangchuk, the famous person who is in the 3 Idiot movie. So he had created a sort of stupa, water stupa in Ladakh, because basically when the water goes up and it gets freeze and become in a stupa, that is not possible in Rajasthan. So to nudge the people to create appropriate rainwater harvesting structures in the appropriate soil structures and climatic conditions using active people's participation. This is the entire mission statement of Catch the Rain campaign. Thanks a lot. So I hope that others also would be inspired. And as the Secretary to CM, please ensure that rainwater harvesting structures are done in all the places, and use your inspiration to not only to Puducherry, all your Agmut cadre all over the country. Now it should come up. Thanks, Vikas. And now we have the 4th District Magistrate, Mr. Madhusudan Mishra, DM of Koraput. He is Madhusudan is here. So he is a very popular person who is attached to the field. I've seen his video and all, where he celebrates Diwali with the children of the hostels and all, and they're very popular. So he has also taken a lot of initiatives in the water conservation thing. So I request Madhusudan Mishra, our secretary, I think, had worked as collector there, I think.
Sir, esteemed Secretary, Ministry of Jal Shakti, sir. Sir, respected sir, Mission Director, National Water Mission, esteemed panelists, sir. I since I joined here before 1 year, just 1 year. Sir, Ajamasa Koraput district is situated at the southernmost of Odisha, sir. It is basically a tribal district, sir. With the hilly area, sir. Sir, the 60% of its land is rain-fed land, sir. Sir, only 40% of it is irrigated land. As against 3.56 lakh hectare, the rain-fed area is 2.03 lakh hectare. So basically, some areas are also migrant farms, sir. Sir, to address in both the fronts, to engage them in work to uplift the financial condition of the farmers and to increase the productivity from the land. Sir, we thought of taking this cash rain campaign. So, sir, we concentrated on getting harvesting structure, then stop them, then check them, then control structure, and staggered trenching, farm ponds, drop wells. Sir, I emphasized on those structures. And sir, even we also introduced spring-based water system. Sir, that means sir, water taking from a spring will come down automatically to gravity force to the down. Sir, we have also covered a particular, I will cite a model success story of a Putsil village, where 100% inhabitants are tribal, sir. Sir, there we checked the perennial stream which was going west adjacent to Devmali mountain, and there we constructed a collection from filter chamber, then one storage tank, then pipelining, junction chamber, and valve. And the water we brought from that stream to 2.5 kilometers. And through that water, sir, 50 hectares of land, almost belonging to 100 families. Sir, those were irrigated. And now that village was totally migrant prone. And now, sir, if you visit, sir, nobody of that village is going on migration, and sir, that those villagers are now taking, sir, those all types of vegetables, sir, maize, etc., and they are selling their products at a very lucrative price, sir. Sir, this is the change which this the rain campaign has brought. Sir, since our district is a hilly district, sir, we are associating water conservation with the soil conservation. Sir, otherwise, sir, the soil will come down to the ground level and the water area will be shrink. Sir, for that reason, water and soil conservation measure we are taking up in a large scale through MG and RGS, sir. This year, we have taken out 13,527 projects for 2021, sir, including border check dams, then valley control, then farm bonds, staggered planting, and also, sir. Sir, we have taken out, sir, 3 types of farm bonds, sir. Sir, one is 10 meter into 10 meter into 3 meter. Second is 15 meter into 15 meter into 3 meter, and third one is 20 meter into 20 meter into 3 meter. Sir, our state has given a target of 4,260, sir, to Koraput district alone, sir. Sir, last year, sir, we had taken over 1,000 farm ponds, sir. Sir, the farmers who are relying on rainfall, only on rain for the cultivation purpose, now they are relying on this created a new farm ponds, sir, and WHS, etc. And we have taken up, sir, plantations in a big scale because, sir, those bald hills, sir, now those are covered with coffee. Sir, only Koraput is the district of Odisha, sir, where this coffee has been the attraction for Amazon and for other years. Koraput coffee is the only coffee of the district who has attracted the international attention, sir, because of this stop dams, check dams, gully controls, and the diversion wires. And we are growing up silver oak trees to a great extent because for coffee, shade plantation is essentially required. And to add to the income, we have grown, sir, those round peppers, those black peppers. Black peppers are coffee grow together, sir. And the shade plantation, that silver oak tree, we have covered all valleys through this silver oak plantation because that will add to the income of the farmers, that will prevent soil erosion, and as a result, that will also create in enhancing the potential of the ponds, rivers, and other sources. So in this way, we have taken up this soil conservation and water conservation measures through MG and RGS in a in our district, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Masudan. Very interesting. Particularly work done in the tribal area. Koraput is a very Koraput and those are Kalahandi are all known for very tribal and poverty-stricken areas. Things have been happening, lots of things, and you have done a lot of work for improving the fertility of the soil. And also one very interesting thing which you said was about the soil conservation and the hilly areas. Because hill districts have a different type of approach. In fact, I would request Dikshit, Mayur also to think, because here, in a hill districts, people, a lot of water comes and then landslide is a big possibility. So what you did in Uttarakhand may not be able to be replicated per se in your new area where it's the Uttarakhand area, because that's a hilly area. So we have to create structures appropriate to the area, and Masood has done extremely well because that water, the soil which comes along with the river can create problems in the downstream. So, and the fertility of the soil also will be affected. So, very nice innovation which has been done by Masood and Mishra. I am thankful that all the DMs have done. This is a very interesting conference because we had people from various parts of the big country. We had from Koraput, we had from Chhattisgarh, we had from Uttarakhand and Puducherry, 4 corners of the country, and Chennai. So with the vastness of the country all merged together in this place, very nice for the beautiful conference which we had, sharing experiences of diversity and the type of passion for water. Thanks a lot for all the district magistrates who participated. My request to all of you is one, kindly ensure that the Catch the Rain campaign is propagated. See, we are not interested in the tagline. It's like that different flowers on a garland. So different areas have different flowers. Please take that and put it all together in the garland of the Catch the Rain campaign. The Catch the Rain campaign, where it falls, when it falls, let us all make together and share your success stories to our website and to our email catchtherain.nwm@gmail.com. Please share it to us. We put it in a platform. You can also see these efficiencies which the various innovations others have been doing. And as Secretary said, every Saturday from 3 to 5, we'll be having this sort of workshop. So you join, even if you're not the speaker, please join and see so that you can expand your scope. Secretary had been rightly telling that the more you hear, the more new innovative things we keep on hearing and learning. So that's the very good effect of this talks which we are doing. Please join us for the water talks on every third Friday of the month. Please join us for these water talks also. I request Secretary UP Singh sir to give his concluding remarks. Thanks.
No, we have already exceeded, I think, time. I think when we have 4 speakers plus 1, 5 speakers and 2 of us, me and Ashok, then generally 1.5 hours would not suffice actually. So we have exceeded that. Maybe in future we need to keep it 2 hours actually. No, it was a very good presentation. Of course, Vikrant's presentation I have seen earlier also. And that is something which impressed me. In fact, the other day your colleague, Puducherry DM, Ravi, what is his name?
Arun, sir.
Arun. So Arun was, he also presented, and I was very impressed by certain things that even cinema halls have gone for a water, rainwater harvesting kind of. So that was very good. And earlier we knew only about one CSR, corporate social responsibility. From what Mayur had done earlier in Uttarakhand, I always used to talk of my social responsibility. Today we added 3 more social responsibilities actually. So that was very interesting. Yesterday, in fact, we had a water talk. Since large number of children were there yesterday, the Jyoti Sharma, who runs president of Force NGO, she basically keeping in view that the kind of audience we had, she yesterday talked about 5 R's actually, and she deliberated very at length about those 5 R's, starting from reduce, reuse, recycle. But then other two generally we recharge. But the 5th one she brought was very important, and that is the respect for water. I always keep saying that at one point of time we had a lot of respect for water, because we had respect for all nature in general, and naturally water is a very important part of nature. So we all used to have a lot of respect. If you find that in every sacrament at your home, whether it is a birthday or a marriage or whatever it may be, we always used to kind of worship water actually. So we have to bring somewhat that respect for the water back, and that's why your Naam Neer kind of, and especially your because South, not only Puducherry but all over South has very good water tanks basically attached to temples actually, and this shows that how they cared for water and water storage. In fact, we keep talking of step wells. Like when you see some of the step wells, in fact, Ashok has compiled a book on step wells. And today I was seeing somewhere that in 2017, we also have a series of stamps was released on step wells actually. So step wells or these temple tanks are very good examples that we have very, what should I say, a very healthy tradition of water harvesting and water storage in ancient times actually, and maybe over a period of time we somehow lost the respect for water, and that is why we are into this position actually. So it was excellent hearing all of you, and once again I would thank APSC, NWM as well as Namami Gange for starting and now continuing. And I hope, for example, when I started Water Talk, I got inspired by TED Talk kind of thing. And when I started Water Talk in 2019 of 22nd March in 2019, that is World Water Day is celebrated on 22nd March. And on that day we started, and then I was not very sure that how long we would continue. We continued 1 year continuously. We had a small break in March and April. March it was scheduled on again 22nd March, but just before this corona pandemic hit us. So April we did not think of, but from May onwards we went on a kind of a virtual mode actually. So similarly, I am very sure that I at least plan to have at least 100 DMs over a period of another 25 weeks or so, because it is not, we call a rain as the rain campaign, but it is not that this kind of a campaign is to be done only during monsoon season. In fact, it would be more appropriate to take certain measures beyond monsoon season, so that next time when monsoon comes we would reap the benefits actually. In fact, I would I would have expected actually Mayur to show some of the pictures, but maybe next time we will, because now the new team is there. I think both Neeraj has also been shifted and you have also been shifted, so I would have liked to see those pictures of those tanks or ponds which were renovated last year, how they are looking now actually. Some now and then pictures would be very interesting actually. So thank you very much once again, and we do hope that all of you are doing good work. Maybe it's a peers learning is also good actually. If something good is being done at one place, it gives also motivation to do a similar kind of things at other place. So thank you very much, and it was nice hearing to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Thanks.
One small comment, sir.
I think there's Dr. Ragade has. I'll request Dr. Ragade to quickly ask in a minute time because we have to wrap this session. Yeah.
There was suggestion about making rain centers in every place. My suggestion along with it is IAS officers are opinion makers. So if where IAS officers live, if these structures are introduced, both rainwater harvesting and recycling, they will inspire others to follow. Because what the leader does, the rest follow.
Sure. Thank you.
That's an interesting perspective from Dr. Ragade. But before we conclude, I must add 1 minute of time. I'll take the liberty of taking 1 minute before we wrap this session. When we formed Aptech Digital News Network, we believe in the power of community and communication. And that's why we formed this company called Aptech Digital News Network, primarily a community building company which gets or brings all the stakeholders together for knowledge sharing. And we are happy that and we are quite honored to have the support of Ministry of Jal Shakti, the National Water Mission and Namami Gange for giving us this opportunity to conduct this weekly virtual talk with district magistrates and municipal administrators, along with presence of NGOs and civil society, to create an awareness on the rainwater harvesting with the landmark campaign which they have started called Catch the Rain campaign. And I can assure Honorable Secretary that his vision of getting at least 100 DMs in next 25 weeks will be realized by Aptech Digital News Network. Thanks to Sri UP Singh, Honorable Secretary, Minister of Jal Shakti, G. Ashok Kumar, Additional Secretary and Mission Director, National Water Mission, Minister of Jal Shakti, Government of India, and the district magistrates were joined from far north of Uttarakhand, Uttarkashi, Mayur Dikshit, from central of India, Chhattisgarh, Shivanand Thayal, from down south, Puducherry, A. Vikrant Raja, former DM of Karaikal and presently Secretary to the Honorable Chief Minister Puducherry, and also from far east where we had the touches of rainwater harvesting in tribal affected districts of Koraput in Odisha, as well as we have got the urban environmentalist perspective from Dr. Indukant Ragade. Thanks a lot, all of you, for joining us. See you in the next edition of this virtual talk, weekly virtual talk on rainwater harvesting, Catch the Rain, with district magistrates and municipal administrators. We are again thankful to Minister of Jal Shakti, Government of India, and Honorable Secretary for supporting us and giving us this opportunity to create this platform where we get the divergent views together and get communities coming together to find ways to move in the right direction. Thanks again. Thanks a lot. See you in the next episode of virtual weekly webinar with important stakeholders. Thanks a lot.
Please visit www.nationalwatermission.gov.in. Please visit www.nwm.gov.in. You can get more details on the Catch the Rain campaign.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.